sojourner, passing through this finite moment in time, a vessel on assignment. You carry gifts designed to influence and impact lives, but your path hasn't been easy. It's unconventional, sometimes rocky, and while you try to practice gratitude for the beauty along the way, there are moments the weight of the journey feels unbearable. You wrestle with the storms, with spiritual exile, and with the ache of walking a path that feels so lonely at times. Because shortcuts aren't an option when you're building something eternal. Let's talk about how to make peace with your path.
You realize that you're taking an unconventional path, that for some reason your route in life just doesn't seem to be straightforward, and you're wrestling with where you are right now. You almost feel a little lost and confused and frustrated and dissatisfied to some degree about your particular path. Well, this video is for you. I'm going to share 3 things that really helped me grow in a level of contentment and helped me make peace with my unique path, because what we have to understand is that our journey is very bespoke to us, and we are curating the life that we want. If you want to make peace with your path, you have to accept who you are. You have to learn and discover who you are, because your path is also your becoming. It's also your actualization. And that's going to look unique from person to person to person. One thing that I failed to do was to actually hone in on my innate giftings. I did not pay enough attention to my innate giftings. Your ease is often the map to your calling. Your ease is often the map to your calling. I didn't pay enough attention to the things that just came naturally to me. And so what it made my path is in the beginning very strenuous, very laborious, because I had equated working really hard, especially as a type A personality. I'm an overachiever, I'm a striver. I had equated working really hard with success. And so it led to a lot of frustration, because I didn't understand why a lot of my colleagues could just do the thing with so much ease and not find it as difficult as I was finding it. Even though I was able to do it, it was not my calling. I did not pay enough attention to the fact that I was such an emotionally attuned person, that I was an active listener, that I was someone who really just could connect with people relationally. I had a desire to solve a lot of people's issues. I was extremely empathic. And because my innate giftings weren't loud, they weren't publicly praised, they weren't something that I could literally just put it in a career box so simply at that age, I latched onto something else, and it was on the journey that I began to realize, this ain't for me. So I would highly recommend, for you to make peace with your path, you have to return inward. You have to connect with that childlike sense. You have to pay cognizance of, what do people come to me for? What solutions do I like to provide? And I'm going to provide you with a couple of questions that you can begin to reflect on and think about. And at the end of the video, I will share a bunch of questions that I would really spend some time thinking about when you are on your journey, when you are on your life's journey. What parts of me feel the most authentic when I'm using them? What do I naturally do well, even without trying? And what are some of the things I did as a child that I have lost touch with? It took maturity for me to realize that what I had brushed off as, this is just who I am, was exactly what made me who I am called to be. Were all signs of what my unique calling was. Honestly, the longer that I walked in my own identity, my strengths, the things that just came innately to me, the clearer the vision became about my unique path. The more I served others and I found and intentionally sourced opportunities to serve others through my strengths, the more I began to embody the woman I was created to be. And so the path of making peace with your path requires self-awareness. You cannot develop a level of contentment with your bespoke and unique calling on this earth without taking the time to really uncover who you are. Surrendering to divine timing and developing your capacity. If you want to make peace with your path, you have to realize that you don't just get what you want. You have to be prepared to steward it. You have to be able to maintain it. I now understand that my divine purpose required divine preparation. And the reason why I was discontent is because there was a process that I had to go through. The path is a part of that process. What do I mean? What good is the relationship if you're going to self-sabotage it? What's the point of having all the wealth if every connection you have in your life you're about to destroy? So you have to ask yourself, can I truly steward the things that I'm asking for? Am I mastering the gifts that I have? It's one thing beginning to develop an understanding around what your strengths are, what your unique gifts are, what you're called to do, how best you serve others. But it's another thing becoming complacent and just saying, well, this is my area of expertise and I'm just talented and it just comes to me, and becoming a master and a steward of it. Your gifts and your talents and your innate calling and your innate abilities, they have to be tested. If they're going to withstand the test of time, if whatever you're producing, if whatever you're creating is truly going to stand the test of time, and if the journey that you're on is one of great influence and impact, you're going to be tested. So you have to begin to embrace the idea that detours, pivots, every breakdown is building a muscle for the life that you're going to live and for the life that you are creating. And until you build your capacity, you can't reach a certain level of impact and influence. It's just as simple as that. And so I realized for me, there were certain areas of my life, particularly with financial stewardship, where I was going round and round in circles. Until I developed a discipline around money, I couldn't hold or be blessed with more. When you're on a spiritual path, there are levels. And to unlock a new level, you have to overcome a new test. So pay attention to some of the repetition in your life. Are you constantly going through heartbreak and relationships that just are dysfunctional? Are you constantly finding yourself in a place whereby you make it to some extent, but you never really cross the line? Pay attention to that. It's all information. It's all information about what it is you need to develop to move to the next stage. Everybody's path will have ups and it will have downs. So you have to remember that in divine timing, I am connected and I'm plugged into the source being God Himself. Am I doing everything within my own power to materialize and actualize the very things that I want to see? If so, then there's an element of the journey that will require surrender. I cannot time God's timing. I will plague myself with continual distress if I do so. This is why you have to be tethered to your values. This is why you have to be anchored to God's word. This is why you have to be anchored to the vision and the purpose that you truly believe that you are called to do. Because when the ups and downs come, you are anchored to something. Many people aren't tethered to anything. When we move and shift away from the path leading us to this one linear goal, and we realize that the path is also shaping who we're becoming, there's a weight that is lifted off of our shoulders. Because my test and your test are going to look completely different. So I can't make comparison to your journey because I have a very different assignment here. You must let go of the illusion of control. You have to understand what is in the remit of your control and what is not in the remit of your control. I had to let go of the life that I felt that I wanted. At 16, I drafted up this very clear plan and I thought this is everything that I want, and the process really changes you. With time and maturity comes greater insight into what God actually wanted for me, what my true desires were. And so I had to grieve the life that I even thought that I wanted. I had to grieve even my efforts in trying to create that life. And I was angry and I was frustrated because I always questioned this thing of time. Like, I've wasted so much time. But one thing that the journey taught me is that so long as I was disciplined and I could be consistent, the moment I found and grew in the level of self-awareness around what I was called to do, a match was made in heaven. A match was made in heaven. These are some of the other questions that I really want us to begin to think about as we try to make sense of our unique path. What do most people consistently come to me for? What problems in the world grieve or frustrate me deeply? What problems in the world grieve or frustrate me so deeply? Where does my compassion naturally flow? And if I had unlimited resources, what would I create and what solutions would I provide to humanity? Thank you so much for watching this video. If you are wrestling with your own personal journey, share below and let's connect. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share.